Hey y'all, this is Ginginese, coach of the Texas Tornadoes, here with a brand new draft league. So the format for this draft league, the EWT, or the Eon World Trophy, the format's a little different than the traditional draft league. It includes 3 hand-picked teams rather than a traditional drafted team, but that should allow for more specific strategies, which is exactly what I went for, making 3 different weather teams with terrain control. So let me show you what they are. The first one here, Team A, is the first team that we're going to use in the draft league season. It's Hail Hyper Offense. So I feel like it's a really great, powerful team with a lot of speed, especially in Hail. We've got 2 Slush Rush users in Arctozolt and Sandslash. There's also lots of choice options, Latios, Coco, Mamoswine, even Pinsir and Vanillix can all be Scarfed or Banded or Specs, respectively. And I think that there's just a good mix of a lot of immediate pressure with things like Coco and Latios, and a lot of setup pressure with things like Arctozolt and Sandslash and the Hail. But we've also got good defensive checks with Clefable, who can, I don't think teleport's allowed, but it can slow baton pass around. And obviously Corviknight can tank a hit and U-turn. So we've got some good momentum, plus Coco has Volt Switch. And I have a lot of ideas for how this team is going to work to basically just scare everything on my opponent's team and make switching very difficult to do. So really excited for that team. My next team, Team B, is more Sun setup. So it's a little bulkier than the other team. There's a lot of Swords Dance potential users here between Scizor and Garchomp. Even Galarian Moltres can Nasty Plot, Espeon can Calm Mind, Leafeon can Swords Dance. In the Sun, Venusaur can use Growth. I think that this team, kind of similar to the last team, does a lot of damage in the respective weather, but can work really well outside of it as well. A few more setup options, not as much immediate pressure, except from obviously like Garchomp could be Banded, Lele could be Specs or Scarf, but a little more kind of bulky maneuvering around, still with a lot of late game pressure. So that team is going to be fun as well. Team C, the final one, is probably the most bulky of all of them. You've got things like Pelipper, Rillaboom can be really bulky, Politoed and Seismitoad obviously pretty bulky, Piloswine and Bronzong and Incineroar all very bulky, but all of those do have decent offensive options. And especially something like Rillaboom, bulky but does hit really hard. Seismitoad can be bulky, but especially in the rain, hits really hard. Even Incineroar is strong enough that it could be Banded or Life Orbed. And Piloswine, although it's pretty much a defensive check with Eviolite, still does a good amount of damage, even with Ice Shard. And so it's something that you do have to respect. In the rain, because this is obviously a rain team, we've got things with like my Tornadus and Jolteon and Pelipper that can all have perfectly accurate Hurricanes and Thunders. And it really should make the checks to things like Bronzong and Rillaboom a lot weaker. Obviously, I've also gone up in the past against Whirlpool, Resto, Chesto, Politoads that can take out Mons that it really shouldn't be able to. And so we can work around some checks to this team there. Overall, I know that all 3 of these teams have a lot of weaknesses, a lot of things that we have to be worried about, but because they're so strong in the areas that they're supposed to be strong, I think that if played correctly, they can all just overwhelm my opponents. The last thing, of course, is that for every new draft season, I have to change up the drip a little bit. So here you can see we're going with the white and black theme, the normal type hat, the white hair, the all black dead eyes, tattered shirt, and of course the new league card, stunting on the crybabies. So I'm really excited to use all 3 teams this season and see how they go. Very, very different league than what we've come to expect from draft. But with the variety of teams throughout the season, even if we have rematches against certain coaches, they won't be rematches against the same teams. And so it should be really interesting. And I'm overall just really, really excited for this league. So EWT season is going to start soon. Everyone get ready for it. I'll see you in the battles. Peace.